virus cannot mutate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joe Exotic.
Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not a bonk machine, it's a fence.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat from outside this world.
Broken news.
How we doing, team? Welcome to Broken News, your weird and wonderful weekly news update with a twist, and that twist being is brought to you by a couple of retards. Talking about retards and vegetables, Mr. Morrison, what the fuck are you doing?
Are we on?
We're on. Yes.
Sorry.
Where are you?
Sorry. I think I've taken the product placement a wee bit far. What do you reckon?
Are you making a monster house?
I made a great wall. A great wall. Let me just get rid of all of this.
Yes.
Give me a minute. Do you want to just fill some space while I do this, Sam?
I'll fill some space in. Look at this. I got myself a nice Monster Juiced. Look at the bad boy. That's a nice can. Los Muertos. That's what I was trying to think of. Los Muertos. But yeah.
I might actually leave. I might leave a couple of these in. What do you reckon?
Oh, definitely. It's about time we gave us some free fucking
That's
juice.
not even planned. That looks fantastic. I'm fucking buzzing with that.
How have you been?
How are you?
Aye,
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Been working the day, but I feel fresh this week. I feel fresher than last week. So,
Oh, that's good. That's good. Is that because you've been drinking that lovely Monster?
that lovely monster. I'm glad you asked. Thank you.
What's the flavour on that?
It is mango.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, another week in the books. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how many plays the last episode got, so I won't, but suffice to say it was less than the one before yet again.
Really?
So, if we carry on, it's just as well we don't care if anyone listens to this. We just kind of do this for a weekly catch-up, don't we?
Definitely. Yeah.
So at least we know there'll always be 2 listens.
And that's a fact.
That's
so,
a
have you got
fact.
anything for me this week? Hit me with some weird and wonderful news.
I do. I've got some stuff. So I was going to ask you though, have you had your tea?
No.
Have you had
No, I didn't
anything
yet.
good
Why?
to eat today? Nah, nothing. Well,
No.
if you're
2 packets of crisps.
all right, okay. Well, when we start going after the crisp endorsements, you can tell me what those were. But yeah, I was just asking because if you've not had anything to eat yet, I've got a wee food recommendation. So South Korea's food ministry has had to urge people not to eat toothpicks after TikTok users shared videos of themselves doing so. So one's deep fried, the toothpicks, which are apparently made from sweet potato or cornstarch. So they have these different toothpicks out in South Korea, and I will show you a picture in just one moment. But apparently once you cook them, they look a bit like kind of like curly fries. And it's been a viral trend in South Korea this week, eating these toothpicks. So one TikTok user described them as being very crispy, which I can only concur with. I mean, what would you ever eat a toothpick?
I mean, if it was made out of potato, definitely, aye.
I would do it for attention.
I'd do it for
anything for attention. That's why we've got a podcast. And the Ministry of Health added, helpfully, please do not eat them. So, so make sure if you're listening in South Korea, which I find unlikely, but if you are, stop it. Don't want to hurt yourself. And even young children apparently have been requesting toothpick fries in restaurants. So this is this is big news, and it's not the first time that a TikTok trend has sparked a warning from health officials, because last year doctors had to caution people against rubbing oil on their eyes, which apparently was meant to be an effective treatment for poor vision. So
Oil
have you
in your
ever,
eyes?
Aye, oil. You know, if you had to like lubricate a wheel or something like that, or put it in your car.
Aye.
Yeah, so you ever tried
fucking
that?
odd. I've never tried it. No, I put petrol in my ears, but I'd never put oil in my eyes.
I did that by mistake once. I wanted to ask you just off the back of that, what's the worst advice or just general kind of guidance that you've seen on? Have you ever seen anything really, really shocking online? Or in real life?
I mean, there's a million things that instantly come to my mind, but try to think of one just off the bat. What have you seen? You've definitely seen
the obvious one's Donald, isn't it? Like,
of course.
This is turning into a Donald Trump segment, this podcast, but Donald with the bleach has got to be up there in terms of stupid advice.
That's the worst one in recent memory. Aye,
it's dreadful. That's the president of probably the most influential country in the world, isn't it? And he's actively encouraging people to drink bleach. So,
did you try some toilet duck when he?
No, I couldn't get it. I had some Sif.
Oh, you had Sif,
and I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't tell you what it gave me. but probably not too hard to guess. And then I had to use the bleach in a whole different way to get rid of that. So speaking of Donald, found a wee video for you. It's only 7 seconds, but he's been given a speech this week, and I'm not actually sure who he's describing here. Let me play this for you, and I think you will find it
arsehole.
quite
He really
amazing.
is.
He really is.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
What the hell?
Obviously. So I think he must be
What
talking
the
about. He must be talking about immigrants. I'm assuming.
100%. Aye.
Yeah.
100%. Fucking hell.
So some of these drug taking rapists are good people. You know.
Has he not got like a guy to sort of prompt him on what definitely not to say? Or does he just not care?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a guy, but I don't think he's the sort of man that really listens to anything. Really, is he?
Fucking hell.
He's a bit of a wild one. He's a law unto himself, is Donald.
So I read this story today actually. So it's about it's actually quite sad. It's definitely not funny. So I'm sorry in advance. It's about a 4-year-old boy.
I'll have to cut this out. Okay.
Oh, definitely. It's a 4-year-old boy with leukemia. He drowned after, it's superstition, right? It's just stupid. He drowned, right? But I'm going to tell you why, right? So
I don't know why I'm laughing. I just am.
it was a superstitious bid to cure him, right, of this cancer, right? So the child's family were said to have travelled from their home in Delhi in India on Wednesday to perform a prayer ceremony in the Ganges River, where it's believed that there's like healing waters and powers and stuff. And his family were adamant that it was going to cure him of this leukemia. So the boy, named only as Ravi, reportedly jumped into the river after his family said bathing in the river could cause a miracle cure to get rid of his cancer. We can maybe put a link in the comments, or you can just use our imagination. But there's footage of his mum, his dad, and who I'm guessing is probably his auntie, but it's 3 members of his family submerging the boy's head into the river in India where he drowned. So it's fucking madness. And it just shows you sometimes that maybe you're better just believing in science and physics rather than thinking these mystical powers are going to cure you.
Yeah, maybe the smart people are just smarter than the not so smart people. That is,
I know.
that is a tragic story. What did you say his name was? Ravi?
Ravi, aye.
Rest in peace, Ravi. That's bad. I mean, do you think they really thought that was going to cure him? Or do you think they just wanted to maybe end his suffering and took a chance that it might?
Well, I didn't want to be too hard on the guy's bloody family because they're at their wits' end. If I knew I was dying and I got told that, I'd probably travel to the ends of the earth to find a cure, just in the hope. So
Yeah, you'd probably try anything, wouldn't you? I feel like they could have just...
I know.
I feel like they could have just like got a bucket and got some of the water. Because is it not? I think it's the water that's meant to have the healing powers. I don't think they need to necessarily throw him in.
They could have got a bucket and just gave him a cold water challenge. Mind like they used to do during
Absolutely,
lockdown.
yeah. Aye. Ice bucket. Oh, those were the days.
Ice bucket, that was it.
By the way, that was like 10 years ago that was all kicking off. That was a long
Was that
time
not
ago.
lockdown? Was that not during lockdown?
I feel like it made a comeback, but the first time round, remember, it was the ALS thing. That was actually it came up on my Facebook memories a few months ago. I did one in my mum's garden in 2015, I think.
That's
So
bonkers.
that's 9 years
bonkers.
ago. Yeah, crazy.
Fucking hell, man.
Well,
By the
that's,
way,
I mean, thanks for starting us off on such a positive
I know.
track.
I'm sorry. But I've got another one that's kind
Thank
of
fuck for
related.
that.
But it's only related because this next one's to do with water as well. So in November, a pond in Hawaii mysteriously turned pink, right? Fascinated visitors flocked to the pond to see the phenomenon. There hasn't been an official explanation for it, but the scientists think it might be an organism called halobacteria or something it's called. But again, if you're thinking like Ravi's mum and dad, it could have been, an act of the big man upstairs, maybe turning the water into wine, and I don't know why nobody's tasted it yet to see if it's fucking rosy wine. That's the first thing I'd be doing.
I've actually, I've got an image of said pond for us here, and it's extremely
there?
pink. Actually looks like maybe, I don't know, do you think that's some sort of PR stunt for the Barbie movie? That must have been coming out around about that time. I don't know.
Oh, God, I don't know what that like.
Bubblegum water, eh? That's mad, though,
Well,
isn't it? So what did you say caused that?
Well, they say it's some sort of bacteria. They're calling it halobacteria or halobacteria or something it's called, but
I think it's Halo.
like they're no saying it's like for definite, but they're trying to just put an answer to it. You know what? See, if it is an act of God and he's turned that water into a cheap bottle of rosy wine, I'm telling you, he needs to get in here and he needs to turn my pishy bathwater into fucking Stella.
Why are these acts of God? Why does he not just do them instead of like, you know, waiting for people to get like super desperate? I was going to ask you if you believe in God, but I feel like we would go on a huge tangent with that. So maybe let's.
I didn't
not.
want to upset anybody, but like,
well, we do actually. We do.
Do you know what
You said to me earlier on? Yeah, sorry, I need to interrupt you. You said to me earlier on, we were trying to think of a new tagline to use on social media, and I'm sure you said to me that you thought the best one you were going to open the show with. If you're offended, you can fuck off. Or
sure definitely.
That's what you said.
Aye,
and
definitely.
now the camera's rolling. You're all like, "Oh no, don't want to offend anyone, guys."
I shit myself. No,
I liked you better earlier when you were being disgusting.
I know. Right, I'm going to go back to being disgusting. So, no, I think that if here's one for you, right? If he's real, why has nobody seen him? There's more people seeing aliens, UFOs. The closest to anybody seeing him is a bit of toast popping at the toast and them going, oh, there's an image of Jesus in my fucking toast, right?
That's so
the
stupid,
Warburton's
that
doing,
one,
mate. He's no there. But I'll tell you what, see if I die, when I die, if I get to the pearly gates, I know. If I get to the pearly gates and he's there, right, and I'm sort of a wee bit back in the queue, I'm instantly gonna just like fucking, I'll be praying over and over and over till I'm there, and I'll be like, I believed in you the whole time. I believed in you the whole time, G.
I have to say, I think you'll be a long way back in the queue. But
aye.
We can only hope the way. Sorry, God, and if you're listening to this podcast, we believe in you, and thanks for turning that water pink.
Yes, and thank you, and also thank you in advance.
Bad job on Ravi and his swimming skills.
I know. Thank you in advance for getting us. He can get us a wee endorsement for Monster. Just put a wee word in, big man. Put a wee word. Thank you.
I've been trying like a bear all week. Nothing doing. Started off quite hot. I got a like on Facebook the first day, and then after that, it's just been radio silence. So I don't know.
Sure, it was for Monster. And it was definitely for Monster. It wasn't just from a Monster.
It took me. Well, we get plenty of likes on TikTok from monsters, but this was from the actual monster company. I was arguing with somebody on TikTok the other day who told me that starting a podcast wasn't a good idea because I have kids to feed, and he didn't seem to understand that this is actually not our main. And thank fuck it isn't. This is not our main source of income, is it? Because it's not any source of income at all. It costs us a fortune. So, yeah, but that was fun. So I enjoyed that. Right, I've got some bad news for you, I'm afraid, and I've actually been dreading telling you about this all day. But
hit me.
It's about Superdry.
One of my favourite
Superdry
brands.
has confirmed it is considering a significant round of cost cutting as the struggling fashion retailer contends with slumping sales.
Oh, that's shite, man.
The company, which has about 3,300 staff and more than 215 shops, on Monday said it had hired advisors to explore the feasibility of various cost-saving options. So in other words, they're fucked. It says here in this article on The Guardian that their market value has slumped in recent years. The share price was £19 in 2017, but it is now just 17 pence. So that is quite the drop. And I know you are extremely fond of your trusty bag.
It's a
Superdry bag.
Superdry bag. Remember the
so
jackets
much space.
They were brilliant. The jackets, and they had a date on them and stuff.
Had like all the Chinese writing on the shoulder. Do you know that kids, like, apparently Superdry is like a cringy brand to wear? Did you know that?
That's unbelievable.
I mean, if wearing Superdry is wrong, I don't want to be right.
That's a fact.
It's really upsetting.
I'll keep on my stuff. The quality's unbelievable.
I mean, you do get the quality is good. You do get attached to your bags. I was wondering if you could tell me the story. Tell me the story about Jan, the Jan Sport bag.
Oh, Jan.
This is incredible.
I
can't believe we've not talked about this. How have we not talked about this on here before?
I know. So I had a Jan Sport backpack, and I acquired it from a flea market, right? And it was a table
with fleas.
And with fleas, no. On this table was just loads of stuff, and I mean, it was like dirty stuff that was on this table, and it was all like 50 pence, 10 pence, a pound, and it was all items that were just like kind of washed up during it was Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane
all that
Katrina,
happened. And so I thought there was nothing on the table. I was just going to hand over some money. Then I seen what wasn't a red bag at this point. I mean, I don't know what fucking colour it was, but I got it. I stuck it through the washing machine, and she came out glorious.
No,
and
she
I
was
named her
resplendent.
Jan. Oh, I had Jan for
Taylor
10
Swift
long
actually named
years.
the Red album after that bag, didn't she?
Oh, definitely. But Jan, she lasted 10 years, and then suddenly her arse fell out. So I had to get a new bag.
Happens to us all. She came everywhere with us, though, didn't she? She came all over the place when we used to play in our band. Jan came
everywhere.
She's had some life. Where is she now? Did you bury her or just bury her?
She's put in a skip.
Okay.
Straight to skip.
Well, that's probably the best place for her. But yeah, what a life that bag had. Had you ever wondered about who like the original owner was? I wonder who had it.
Don't know. Actually, I wonder if they're still alive or did something happen to them during Katrina. But
That's actually quite morbid to think about. See, if anybody listened to this podcast, we could do an appeal, couldn't we? We could say, look, if you lost a red Jansport during Hurricane Katrina, get in touch, because we'd love to. I was going to say reunite you with your bag, but we can't because his arse fell out. But that'd be pretty cool to find out whose it was.
fucking
And
hell.
apologise.
I know. Fuck me. I had something to tell you, right? This is so strange, right? I didn't even know if it's true or not, but apparently scientists have says it is. So Alzheimer's can be transmitted person to person, right? I don't mean by giving them a kiss or sticking their dick in your ear or anything like that, but it's
That's fine.
it's definitely something. So this was discovered after patients who received human hormones decades ago went on to develop the disease, right? So 5 cases are believed to have been caused by treatment as a child. So the five kids got this hormone treatment, but from dead donors. So they were getting blood from dead donors. And all these 5 kids, I think it was in the 80s, have all got Alzheimer's now. So
That's crazy.
They thought that was strange, and obviously they checked medical records of the 5 deceased guys that they obviously got the blood from, and all of them died with Alzheimer's. So it's very, very fucking.
That's bonkers.
I know. So that's
Everyone's connected, though, isn't it?
Everyone's connected, man. Aye, but
We were talking in work the other day, just on the medical front.
aye.
You know, like when you have, there's people that take like a whole bunch of like different medications and painkillers and stuff. Like, have you ever like sat and wondered like how does the medicine know like where to go? Do you know what I mean? So like in your body, like if you've got like a sore foot, like how does the painkiller know? I better go down there. And then but you've got a different one that might be for like migraines, and if you don't take both, they don't work. It baffles me that. I don't. Do you have any idea how that works? Because I don't.
Well, being a scientist myself,
That's why I asked you.
Fucking that was.
The man
You know
with
what?
the bag.
I know the man with the bag. No. I was going to say to you, talking about like cures and remedies and stuff like that. Remember all those like old wives' remedies that you'd hear back in the day? And one of them was so fucking weird. If you got a cut or something, they'd say, just put a bit of bread on it, right? So there, your mum goes to the cupboard and gets a bit of fucking Warburtons and sticks it on your elbow. What's like? What was that about?
Hovis knee.
I've got Hovis knee.
Yeah, I can remember. Actually, totally unlocked a childhood memory there. But yeah, I can remember. It was either my mum or it might have been my grandma even. But I definitely got a bit of white bread wrapped around my knee, and I'm sure I had to sleep with it like bandaged to myself, and it was really uncomfy. But I think it was like. It must be to like help a scab form or something. I don't know, or like suck out. I think it's to like suck out dirt.
It'll be
Maybe.
to absorb
Or something like
stuff. Aye.
Yeah, so bizarre.
Yeah.
The first person to think of that. What was going on that day for them?
I know, but it's true. Like they do. It's like bread's obviously a good absorber, the yeast and stuff. So it makes complete sense. I think I've got another one. Spoonful of sugar. What's that about?
What was that again? A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Aye, what's that? What does it even mean?
Isn't it just like the medicine's disgusting, but you say to the kid like, "I'll give you like sugar right after."
Oh, sure,
I think
that
that's
makes
what
sense. Aye.
I think that's what it means.
Right.
A proper podcast though, we would have like planned this part in advance, wouldn't we? And we would have went away and had a good think about it. But because
We're not proper.
because we're horrendous at doing this, we actually had an idea this week. Let's not tell each other anything that we're talking about. And it seems to be going splendidly well. So I don't think we'll do it this week again, because it's an absolute
Fucking
disaster. Right, so I've got some other news. You were a big wrestling fan when you were a kid, weren't
Loved
you?
it. I love the old school 80s, early 90s stuff.
Yeah, we seem to, even though we're essentially the same age, we seem to have like caught different eras of the wrestling, didn't we? Like I was more late 90s, early 2000s, like the Attitude Era, like Stone Cold and all that. You were like Ultimate Warrior, and who else?
Hulk Hogan, Bushwhackers, Legion of Doom, Hurricane, Typhoon. There's no way
that last one's real, is it?
I think so.
Aye, I'll take it. Not like I'd know.
Come and tell us if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just before we go into this story, I need to.
Oh,
we got our first correction on Spotify, and I want to give a big shout out to this person for interacting with us, because it was actually really cool to see someone actually listen to what we are saying and quite rightly pull us up for being completely incorrect. So we'd like to say thanks to Spotify user Happy Camper, who has quite rightly told us that it wasn't actually Bastille that sang Budapest. It was, who was it, Robert?
Oh fuck, who was it? Oh, it was George Ezra.
George Ezra. So absolute idiot. So thank you very much for correcting us, and thanks for interacting. It would be great to see some more responses. You can ask us questions or respond to anything you hear in the show through the Spotify app, or obviously if you're watching on YouTube, just write in the comments. But as we go on with this disaster of enterprise, we would love it if people could interact a bit more, because it'll give us something to talk about. And I think eventually it'll be quite a big part of our show, just kind of chat about all the stupid stuff people have said, because there's got to be some people out there even stupider than we are.
I highly doubt it.
Well, maybe like level pagan, and if they are around our level of intellect, then surely eventually they'll find this podcast, and we will be their best friends, because we don't have any friends.
We don't have friends.
Oh, you just got toys.
I know. I love my toys.
What you been playing with this week? Anything?
No, I've been too busy to play. I've been non-stop this week, but I've got a day off work tomorrow. I'll be playing with a lot of toys.
And just weekly check-in, Robocop. What's he saying?
He's
keeping
it frosty at the back there.
He is.
Keeping it
He's
frosty.
watching over us. So, a long, wide tangent there. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has been in a spot of bother, and he's actually resigned from, well, everything, basically. He's resigned from life, Vince McMahon. He's gone. So, he's been accused of two things. He's been accused of sex trafficking, which we heard a lot about a couple episodes ago, didn't we, when we talked about Epstein. So I think it'd be probably fairly safe to say that Vince might well be on that list. And also sexual misconduct. So I'm going to read a wee bit of this out to make sure I get it right, because Vince McMahon's quite rich, and if in the unlikely event he heard this, he could definitely sue us for libel. So let's make sure we get this right. Plus, for a 78-year-old man, he's still pretty jacked, so...
Oh, his shoulders are fucking massive.
WWE boss Vince McMahon has quit in the wake of sex trafficking allegations from a former employee. So the woman alleges that Vince and another executive sexually assaulted and trafficked her to entice wrestling talent. So in other words, it sounds like they sent this woman to meet other wrestlers to do things, to convince them to join WWE. He's obviously denying all allegations. He's saying that it's obscene and made up, and it never occurred, and it's a vindictive distortion of the truth. That's a pretty good phrase. I'm going to need to remember that, in case anyone ever accuses me of lying. But yeah, he's resigned from all of his roles to obviously try and avoid any further reputational damage for WWE. So it says here that Vince pressured her into a physical relationship and promised her a job as a wrestler off the back of it. Now, this isn't the first time in recent years that Vince has been in a spot of bother for a similar reason. Vince only returned to WWE in January 2023 after resigning again because he was accused of using company funds to pay off women to cover up affairs. So there's no smoke without fire, is there?
Fucking hell, man.
Are we giving Vince the dirty bastard tag?
Do we know who the wrestler is that
It's
that he
not.
sent?
Well, she is named in the article. Her name's Janelle Grant. I don't believe she's a famous wrestler, but I think the hush money that he's paid to other people,
Aye.
I think it allegedly is like wrestlers that are, a bit more well known, but it's not stated in the article. If you're a WWE expert or if you know stuff about it that you're a bit more up to date on, give us a shout. Let us know if there's anything we should know, or come on and talk about it. But yeah, it doesn't say there. But what was that one you were mentioning when we were chatting about this the other day? Who was that?
China.
It was China that she got quite badly bullied and stuff in wrestling, didn't she?
Well, was she not in a relationship with Triple H? Like that was all genuine. That wasn't a storyline for the show. But she killed herself, didn't she?
I think she overdosed or something like that. Yeah,
It was something like that. But I think she had a proper hard time because she got a hell of a lot of surgery, and she was still getting abuse. And like she looked good. She looked fine. But I mean, as fine as a buff 6-foot bloody woman looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know? I think she was probably a bit ahead of her time. There's a lot of women that look like that now. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's like I'm all for it. I mean, there's loads of women that are into like strength training and stuff now, and absolutely, yeah, do it. But back then it was more unusual, I think, wasn't it? They were just really hiring like bimbos, weren't they? I don't know if is that an okay word to say? That's a bit offensive. Yeah, I've said it now anyway. So, but that, that's what they were doing. They were. I'm not saying these women were talentless that they were hiring, but clearly they were not hired for maybe their wrestling ability. I think it'd be.
Well, China definitely was. She was great. She was solid.
She was lifting guys over her head and throwing them about and stuff. So
I know.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
that's hell. I've got one to hit you with.
Lord.
It's just a wee bit. So Kentucky City beams message into space inviting extraterrestrials to come and visit us. So aye,
that was really good of them.
I know that was really nice, and I'd like them to come. I'd like to meet them. Actually,
could we invite them? Let's invite them.
Guys, if you're out there, if you're listening, which is definitely fucking get yourselves doing here. Fucking hell.
They seen our logo.
I know. We've got
get a look at our logo. Get your arse down here.
We've got good crisps. We've got good crisps in
the
here.
best. Simply the best.
So it was a Kentucky city. It's come up with an out of this world campaign to promote tourism. So it was an infrared laser. So they beamed the message into space, and that was essentially it. Would you, be abducted? I mean, would you go willingly? Would you just want to see what it's all about? If they told you they were going to bring you back,
if they seem trustworthy, yeah, probably.
I mean, you're not going to know. You're not going to know.
I know, but you could try and suss them out a wee bit, couldn't you?
How could you? You kind of look at their face and go, "He's got a caring soul." I can see in his jet black eyes.
Look, before I decide here, how many episodes of Broken News have you listened to? Because if it's more than 3, I'm not coming. So, seriously though, I probably would. To be honest, maybe that's quite rash. Maybe I would be different if it was really happening, but you'd have to be curious, wouldn't you? As far as I know, they've never not brought somebody back, have they? Or have they? I don't know. Do we know that?
I don't know. Well, based on how many people around the world that go missing every year without a trace, probably fucking no.
That's true. Maybe that is aliens. So would you go then?
I'd go. I'd like to see what it's all about. And for yous listening, if yous want a good film to watch, it's based on a true story of an alien abduction. It's called Fire in the Sky. It's for years ago. I'm going to guess like 1995 or something like that. And it's about a bunch of lumberjacks. So they're out in the forest in America. They're doing their thing. They've just finished their shift, and they see these big bright lights, and all of a sudden, one of the members of the workies that are there, he's off-ski, he's away, and he shows up 7 days later after the rest of them have been ridiculed at the police station, but they all took polygraphs, and the polygraphs all came back saying that they were definitely telling the truth, and the guy showed up. It was like miles away. I don't know if it was another state, but miles away. naked in a phone box. Fucking weird.
Wow.
So
It's a good night
Fire
out,
in the
isn't it?
Sky. I know, aye. Cheap night out as
Fire
well.
in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Get a watch.
So that's based on a true story, did you say?
It's based on a true story. You should give that a watch. Do you know what else is mad? The amount of celebrities that have that have had like alien encounters and stuff like that. And I mean, they talk about it now and again in interviews and stuff. But this, honestly, it's more common than you think. Actually, recently, Goldie Hawn brought up in an interview. You know Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell's wife.
Yes.
Goldie.
Mrs. Claus, you mean?
Mrs. Claus. I know. So she says that an alien actually touched her. And her words, she quoted, "It felt like the finger of God." So the Oscar winner said
that about the touch of me.
Well, fucking hell. But I think they were just banning me up. She says
no
it
doubt.
felt like the finger of God.
No doubt. To go back to the bit about, what was the name of the movie? Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Based on a true story. So the guy managed to convince his missus that he'd ended up in another state naked in a phone box, and it was all to do with aliens abducting him. This guy's a god.
I know.
How does he get away with that?
I know. I can't.
She believe him?
Walt or something. Walt or something. I can't
Walt
remember.
Disney.
Aye.
That's unbelievable. Well done, Walter.
What was I going to say? So she says it felt like the finger of God. The Oscar winner said the encounter was the most benevolent, loving feeling. She says it was powerful and it was filled with light. She says years ago she was sitting in her car and the silver-skinned being just showed up in her car, which I found very fucking odd. She describes it as silver with a small slit for a mouth, as we know them.
I'm so mature.
I know. I know what you're thinking. So she said she felt nothing but love when the ET touched her tits. Or face. So it touched her face and she felt nothing but love. But yep. Also, there's another Hollywood star, one of my heroes, who just happens to be a Ghostbuster. He is.
I'm dying at you trying to line your finger up
I know.
with that poster in reverse.
There it is.
Oh, that's good.
Dan Aykroyd. So he's he came out and. Oh, by the way, I'll let you in on a wee tidbit there. His entire family, as far back as he can remember, they were all ghost hunters or into Ouija boards or what they call like clairvoyance and stuff like that. And he, when he wrote Ghostbusters, he initially started it to, it was going to be about his like family and stuff like that, and it ended up being Ghostbusters. Anyway, that's besides the point. So
I think he got a bit confused when he was writing it, didn't he?
definitely, aye. So there's a story that he told, and it was he was lying in his bed, right, with his missus, and it must have been about 4 o'clock in the morning, and he says he woke up out of what he thought was a deep sleep, just woke up, and he had an urge to go downstairs and open his front door. He says he's never felt anything like it, so he went downstairs, opened his front door, and looked up into the sky, and he says there was a giant pink spiral in the sky the size of 2 football fields, and he looked, down his, down the street, and every guy in the neighbourhood was standing at the door. Not one woman, every guy was standing at the door, and they're all staring at this spiral in the sky. And when everybody started talking to each other, and it was the same thing. They were like, "We don't know. We woke up. We had an urge to come down here and looking at the sky." Very, very fucking odd.
That's strange. Why do you think it was all guys that came out?
God knows, man. God knows.
They're all for equal rights, but see, when there's an alien kicking about, we get sent. We get sent, don't we?
I know. Bastards. Talking about getting sent, if World War III kicks off... Oh, sorry. When World War III kicks off, are you going to go? You going
to... No. I don't think it would be that. It wouldn't be... I don't think it would be fought with troops. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of like good soldiers in the army already. They wouldn't be needing a couple of idiots like us. Are you going, What are you doing?
Making the tea.
You drink the tea. Roaring about aliens. I'm sure that's just what you'd need.
I know.
They'd be like, Rob, tell you what you could do. You could fuck off, like, right back that way, like, right to the back. And you'd be like, okay.
Do you want one lump or two?
We Silver Cross.
No.
Not the pram, the medal. No, I wouldn't fancy it, if I'm honest. I don't really think I'm I wasn't born to be a soldier. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm the same, man. I'm the exact same. But I did watch Band of Brothers about 15 years ago.
Is that your CV for the?
It is,
I've seen Band of Brothers.
What skills have you got? What skills? I've seen Band of Brothers. All right.
Yeah, well, I watched Fury the other day.
Oh, well, why didn't you say earlier? Get straight to the front of the queue, Mr. Morrison. But fucking hell. I've got one more story for you, actually.
Right, let's see.
Unless, have you got anything for me? You can hit me with something first if you want.
I've got a funny cat video.
Lighten the mood. Show us a funny cat
let's
video.
do it. I've got a funny cat video. So I think I might do this every week. Just share like my favourite thing that I've found on TikTok. So this video, I actually just found it today. So this cat accidentally has made the summer banger of 2024. This is actually unbelievable. So it's a cat walking around a music studio, and it hits record on the software, and it just walks about over the pianos and the synth pads and everything. And I'm telling you, well, I'll let you be the judge, but this is better than probably anything we ever
I'm
wrote.
excited to see this.
It's a banger.
That is brilliant.
Honestly,
That's
just
right.
loop that and a wee bit of, some wee chain smokers noises. In fact, if the chain smokers are listening, I think you should sample that.
100%.
Absolutely tremendous.
That's
But
brilliant.
I love a wee cat video. I'm not going to lie. Any video, in fact, with an animal, stupid animal in it. Maybe we should get an animal on here. We should interview an animal. That'd be good, eh?
We can interview my cat while he's clawing my fucking eyes out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, has your cat ever done anything useful like that cat there, or quite good at eating HDMI cables?
Oh, he loves an HDMI. But no, I've got him to get a couple of spiders off the ceiling before. I just point him like a gun, and he's just straight on it.
Yeah, when I had a cat, he died. But when I did have a cat, he when he was young, he loved killing spiders, and then it was as if he got to adulthood and realised that they were absolutely disgusting, and he just wouldn't do it after that.
Useless.
But yeah, I mean, he's not here anymore, so I feel a little bit bad. But rest in peace,
Rest
Joey.
in peace, Joey.
Wherever you are. What have you got? Have you got anything kicking about there on your old list?
I do. This one's fascinating, right? I've been saving this to last. I love it. So it's quite a sad story, but it's brilliant. So no, it's got a happy ending.
Brilliant.
It's got a happy ending, right?
Good.
So I'll give you the tagline first. Twins stolen and sold at birth, reunited after finding each other on TikTok.
I knew it'd be TikTok.
Yep. So
This TikTok thing's going to kick off.
it's mental, right? I know. Why is it not kicked off yet? What's it called? Tic Tac.
They've been waiting for it. They've been waiting for us.
I know. But so like I say, they found each other on TikTok. They started talking just because they were fascinated at how much they looked alike. Like they scrolled over each other back and went, "Oh my god, we look alike." So they just started talking, and then they found out they had tons in common, the same music, even their fashion sense. They both like dancing, and it's just so strange. We can link the video online. There's a whole video, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll stick that in the show notes.
Aye. So they didn't stay far from each other. So they met up with each other and just thinking that they looked alike, and they're just they just want to spend some time together, get to know each other, and then they took a selfie of each other, saying, "Oh my god, how much alike do we look?" And they put it on TikTok, and the girl's mum got in touch with her and says, "See, you found your sister," and the girl was like, "Ha ha ha," blah blah, and she was like, "No, it's your sister."
Yeah,
and she couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
So,
what happened to get? Sorry, I did. I mean, obviously I was listening, but so one of them got sold. Did you say?
No, they both got stolen at birth.
Stolen separately. But
separately.
Stolen together and sold.
Stolen together and sold. Yeah.
Put to different places.
Yep.
And then obviously one of them had managed to find the mum again.
Yep.
That is insane. Yeah, that is That's bonkers.
And
I
you
wonder
know,
what the chances of that are, really.
their names are similar as well. I can't remember their names, but I was reading it earlier the day, and like the names are similar.
Yeah.
But I had a wee tidbit for you here. So apparently there were victims, child trafficking marketing.
Vince, for fuck's sake, Vince.
Dirty bastard, eh?
Oh my god!
Did you know this? This is terrifying. Up to 100,000 babies may have been stolen from the 1950s to 2005. A journalist estimated. But that's fucking terrifying.
100,000? Did you say?
Was it 100,000?
I'm so bad at listening.
I know, 100,000.
So bad at listening tonight. I just keep getting. I'm just thinking about that cat. That is crazy though. So in 50 odd years, 100,000 babies stolen.
I know.
And how did it get stolen? Do you think? Is this from hospitals or like from houses?
I think it's a bit of both, but I think it was mainly from hospitals and stuff.
That's insane.
A lot of it actually was voluntarily. I think some
Voluntarily
parents
stolen.
No.
The kids
parents
are
would
like
sell.
leaving the door open, like
Aye. Don't take
a
my
baby?
kid. He's over here. Aye.
Garage sale and walk in. It's just a baby sitting there.
You know what's mad though is why carry a kid? For that long. Surely you've got some sort of bond that's part of you, and then you sell it. Like that was happening as well. People voluntarily selling their kids because they realised they couldn't take care of it. It's fucking madness.
Yeah, I find it hard to understand. Even like when you hear about people like that sort of like abandon like litters of puppies and stuff. I mean, I can't even get my head around that. So an actual human baby, I don't know, man. That's just there's a bit of a. I mean, not everyone that gets pregnant wants a baby, but like there's, especially like this day and age, there's very easy ways to arrange, fostering or put it up for adoption or whatever it might be. It's that's
there's
really
always
sad.
options, McCanns. If you're listening,
I know. I thought you were going to start giving out some serious advice there. I was thinking we're getting a bit highbrow on this podcast.
I know.
But if you've been affected by any of the issues on this show and you do need some help and support, then we'll do absolutely fuck all about it because we've no idea. There we go. We're not the place for that. We're not the place for help and support.
I just wanted to tell you this. I just actually looked it up now because I heard it years ago. I was watching Wolf Creek. It was an Australian horror movie from 2005. I'm sure it was, right?
The title, yeah.
There was a stat at the start of the film, right? And I fact checked it at the time, and it was bang on, but it's terrifying. 38,000 people go missing off the face of the planet, right? In Australia every year.
Just in Australia?
Every year.
That's insane.
Well, remember
most
how
of
big
Australia's
the outback
wilderness, isn't it? Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's the outback, so fucking it's terrifying. That blew my mind.
38,000. And do you have any theories on where they're going? Are they just getting like lost and eaten by wild animals, or is this aliens, or is it something else?
I'd like to think it's aliens.
I'd love to think it's aliens.
Yeah.
Let's say it's aliens.
Of course it is.
Exclusive. Broken News co-host reveals 38,000 people a year go missing in Australia and the cause is aliens.
That's
there
it.
we go. You heard it here first. Actually, nobody heard it here at all because nobody listens. But soon they will. So Monster, I've had enough now. I'm running out of video ideas. I've sent you into a shop to make a video. That was nice of that girl to do it.
I'm
How much
actually
did you
barred
pay her?
now. I'm barred.
Yeah, I thought you might be. Yeah, she didn't look too pleased. Nah, she looked like a nice lady. So
they're
what
brilliant.
did you explain to her what it was all about, or did you just commandeer her?
I never, because I was working at the same time, I never had much time to sort of brief her on it. I was just like, stand there. I'm going to speak, and just you answer how you would answer any human. Thank you.
Yeah.
So if you watch the video back, she's very bewildered.
She looks bewildered, but you know what? She did a great job. So, what did you get her name?
I had to, because the Oscar nomination's coming up. So
Right, yeah. Aye. So she's going to be like sort of like best actress in a supporting role. And what are you getting? Best voiceover or maybe both? You've got several awards.
oh god, I've got awards coming up.
I went down well on the old TikTok. We've done well. Do you know across all the videos we've posted this week, we've actually had 2,268 views in total across
good.
TikTok. So to a lot of people that have TikTok, that's not very many, but we've only been really active on TikTok for about a week or so, haven't we? So we're quite pleased with that. So thanks very much to everybody that's been watching our stupid videos. We're going to go back to posting a few clips from our shows now, and I think the monster thing might have run its course. Or has it? Maybe I'm just saying that. Maybe it's not.
We might have to just lower our expectations to maybe emerge or something.
I was thinking about, I actually saw a picture earlier, because I say Monster Energy so much now, you know how your phone listens to you and shows you adverts, because I say it so much now, like every time I go on Facebook, it's all like Monster adverts, but today I saw one for Relentless. Do you know Relentless have got some nice sugar-free options, so Monster, if you don't get your arse in gear, I'm not a
jumping
loyal
ship.
man. I'll jump ship. I'll jump ship, and I actually feel like Relentless maybe fits our brand a wee bit more as well, so...
Be warned.
Food for thought, Monster, or drink for thought, you might say. So you've not got much time. The clock is ticking on that. Right, have you got anything else before we wrap up?
Well, that's me for this week.
Well, just want to say thanks once again to everybody who's listened and watched, followed us on socials. One thing that would really help us out is if people could please leave a rating on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us get higher in search results. So if people search for a topic that we've spoken about, or for some reason if they actually just search for the words broken news, it'll put us higher in the rankings and help us get more listenership. So that would be really much appreciated. Other than that, hope you have a great week. And remember, if it's not broken, it soon will be.